Hi, good evening, or good morning. It might be the morning time, so good morning. But guys, a lot of us right now are being trained in our obedience right now because we a lot of times don't realize that we will be in danger if we do certain things or go certain places and don't listen to God, or if we don't listen to that nudge to tell us don't go or don't do a certain thing. I can attest to this where I remember a time where I was told not to go a certain place, but I had already told this person that I was coming. And God, it was after I told them I was coming though, when I got the word from God, they was like, don't go. And I'm like, but I already told them I was coming. And this was when I first came into the faith, and I went anyway, and I got in trouble, and it was bad. It was bad. So this is the type of training that we have to be trained in, not the type of training where, okay, well, we know we not sinning, we not in willful sin, and we not like in like fornication, we not getting drunk, we not drinking, we not fornicating, we not doing adultery, like all of that stuff. Mostly like things like, okay, God say, um pack up and leave and go. That's the type of obedience that we are being trained in this season. And a lot of times we getting trained in areas to where, like I said, we don't realize that we in danger, but we be in danger being around certain people. And we have to be obedient when God tells us to leave certain people alone and to stop doing certain stuff. I know that's the kind of stuff I'm being trained in. And not to eat certain stuff as well. When God be like, don't eat that. And you really, really want it though, but God be like, don't eat that certain food. That's the kind of stuff we being trained in right now. That's the kind of things that we have to be trained in obedience. A lot of people think, okay, well, we should already know how to do all this stuff because we followers of Christ, not understanding that you have to be trained in a lot of these areas. Yes, God said that we are supposed to be perfect, but obedience comes with perfection. Perfection comes with obedience. We have to be trained in obedience, and we have to be trained in the way that we should go too, even as adults. Because a lot of people, when they first come into Christ, for sure they fall, like, because you don't really understand and you don't grab certain stuff yet. Like, you have to be trained, just like you have to be trained up to be to work at a certain place, because a lot of times we're not familiar with certain things. Yes, God can put certain stuff in our hearts already where we already know certain things, because I'm going to tell you right now, there were certain things that I knew about the Bible. There were certain things I knew about the word before I had even read any of it, before I read any of the word of God. And then when I read the word of God and began to understand that word, that's when I was like, whoa, God had already told me this. So it was mostly confirmation and everything like that. Like, God can literally teach you the word of God without you even having to pick up that Bible. And I'm telling you, I'm a living witness to that. But we still have to be trained to be able to do certain stuff. There's a difference between willful sin and, just falling or whatever. But we have to be trained in every area. We are not perfect. Yeah, it does say that we're supposed to be perfect, but we have to be trained into to get to the area of perfection. And you have to be willing to be obedient and willing to follow God, willing to listen to his instructions. That's where our free will comes from. We have to listen to God's instruction when he tells us to do certain stuff. Practice, practice, practice. Even if like I said, you tell somebody you're going to do something for them. That's why I don't make promises. This is why I don't tell people that I'm going to do certain stuff, because I don't know what God going to say. I don't like to jump the gun like that. And I had to learn, don't do that. That's why I don't like to promise nothing or tell people anything. I remember a couple of years ago, I said I was going to start going live more often. And guess what? God was like, not yet. Like, no. And so now I feel like I lied. You know what I'm saying? But God said no after I had already said that I was going to do that. So this is the type of obedience that we're having to practice in this season. And it's going to be great. We're going to be fine. I got really good feelings about everything. I've been up dancing and everything this morning. So everything is going to be fine. Everything is going to be fine. But I'm telling you, we really do have to buckle down with that right there. Because if that wasn't the case, it wouldn't keep popping up. And I'm like, okay, God, okay. So no more. I cannot tell y'all I'm going to do anything without God's approval on it first. And really, I don't even like to do it then, because I don't know. Like, God may be like, okay, well, you're going to do it this way. Because I could probably try to jump the gun and be like, well, I'm going to do it this way. And God be like, no, do it this way. Do it that way. That's the kind of obedience that we're having to practice. Okay? And practice make perfect. You're being trained in the areas of obedience. Okay. All right, guys. Love y'all. Bye.